today on Dr. Phil.
My daughter is out of control.
You're dumb. Crazy.
Well, let's meet this little dumpling.
She's a teen tyrant.
Are you violent?
I used to be.
You just quit today?
It's her parents' home.
You emptied the den and moved all of your stuff in there.
But she's running the house.
She's stealing your car. You snuck boys into the house 20 times.
I do it because I don't have a mom to stop me.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by, Dr. Phil.
I try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
In 5, 4.
I am not giving up on you.
Go, Dr. Phil.
Thank you very much. Well, Vicki is here, and she is a mother that is desperate for help for her 15-year-old daughter, Josie, who in the last month has been thrown out of school, arrested for battery, put on 24-hour watch, been in a physical altercation with an ex-boyfriend, stolen her mother's debit card to buy liquor, and been detained by police. Other than that, it was a great holiday break. Here's what happened when her mother, Vicki, arrived at 3 a.m. to pick her up at the police station for that stolen debit card liquor store incident.
Get in the car, Josie.
Oh my God! Freaking take me to jail! I don't want to freaking
Mom.
go home! Are you kidding me? I'll freaking do another charge right now! I don't want her to record me! That's not fair!
I can't get it to stop.
Are you kidding me?
Now, if you're at home and your kids are around, go get them and have them watch this, because I got to tell you, it just gets down to common sense. You got to wonder, what's that kid thinking? The child has got to step back and say, this can't be working for me. I'm standing here at 3 a.m. in the middle of the street yelling and screaming. That doesn't look happy to even the most casual passerby. Now, Vicki says there have been times when she's thought Josie might hurt or even worse, kill her or her husband, Howard.
When Josie has a fit of anger,
Freaking take me to jail! I don't want to freaking
Mom.
go home!
we're always under attack.
Are you kidding me?
It's all about her breaking, shoving, kicking things, throwing things.
We used to get into physical fights to a point where one of us was either bleeding, crying, or running away.
Josie's behavior is so unpredictable, we never know what to expect. One night, I got a call from the sheriff's office telling me that Josie and a girlfriend had scared my mother with knives and was so scared that she hit her lifeline button.
I did not taunt my grandmother with knives or anything like that. I would never do that to my grandmother.
I spend my days not wanting to go home because we're always on the defense. One night we came home and Josie had completely moved her room into the den and shoved all of our belongings back in her room.
When they came in, they were not happy with the fact that I had moved rooms without their permission.
So Howard grabs her laundry basket and she just pops up off the bed.
She started coming at me close, just wailing on my back.
So I ended up punching him in the face and pushed him into the door.
Josie was so out of control, I called 911 and they came out and arrested her for hitting Howard.
I was in jail for 9 days. I can't believe my mom called the cops on me.
I'm exhausted and I'm tired. I don't know what to do anymore.
Are you desperate?
Definitely, yes.
How'd you get in
Absolutely.
this mess?
I can't even say how it all began. It just kind of accumulated over the years.
You wrote me in March of 13, and you said, I'm having a nervous breakdown. Your words, not mine. Then you wrote me in November of 14 and said, this is a cry for help. Your words, not mine. And you say you're out of options.
It's a total loss of control of anything in the house at this point. It's a total loss of control, and she is running her own show.
You've given up.
There's probably somewhat to have peace.
She hit you in the face, right?
Pummeled on my back, hit me in the face, knocked my glasses off, broke them,
This was all because you left the house, you came home, and she decided to move her furniture into the living room.
Into our den where the computer was, because we restricted her from using the computer and took her phone away.
Okay, so while you were gone, she decided to make the den where you live into her bedroom.
Yes, because the computer was in there. She left that and took all of our stuff out and put it in her old room.
Well, let's meet this little dumpling. Vicky says she's heading towards a nervous breakdown if something doesn't change soon. Mom says that her 15-year-old teen tyrant, well, she just says she's beyond help.
My daughter Josie is completely out of control.
No, you're dumb. You're crazy.
Basically running the house.
It's my life.
She will do what she wants to do.
Really?
No matter what we say as parents.
I'm done. I hate when my mom tells me no. I like being able to tell myself what to do.
When Josie doesn't get her way, she blows up immediately.
Okay, don't even turn that on me. I've called my mom fat ass, word, worthless. I said that I hated her. Maybe if you acted like a mom, then it'd be fine.
Josie drinks alcohol frequently. And what is all this from?
Drinking. I had more. And there's some up there. I love to drink. I usually can't stop when I start.
Josie's drinking has been so out of control. She's come stumbling into the house. Her favorite thing to say is, I'm a teenager, what do you expect?
Oh my God, being a kid, that's what it's all about.
It's such a huge cop-out. Josie definitely has been smoking pot.
For the past couple of months, I've used weed every day. Some of the drugs I have used are acid, weed, shrooms, spice, and cocaine. If she fully knew, my mom would flip out.
Okay, so what do you think about all this?
Some of it's true and some of it's not. I get a lot of blame put on me. I never really get to tell my side of the story.
Well, let's hear it.
My mom has never really been there for me. She's never really acted like a mom, and she's never really talked to me about things. She's always working or out. She runs away from the problems. Whenever there's a fight or something, she'll ignore me for a few days, or she'll go to my aunt's house or something. She won't say sorry. She yells at me just as much as I yell at her. She calls me names just as much as I do. It really hurts.
Mm-hmm. So your strategy is that you're just going to do whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want, because you don't have the mother you want.
No, I don't want to do all of this. Like, it's just a fill in where she was to be with friends and actually have people there for me and stuff. And they do it, so I wanted to do it too.
I made a list of your behaviors. We can talk about why you do it, but I want to talk about what you do. Because you've told us, and you've made it very clear, that you're just going to pretty much do what you want to do when you want to do it, right?
I keep doing it because I don't have a mom to stop me.
Because you don't have a mom to stop you, okay?
All she does is call the police on me. She doesn't help me and she doesn't talk to me.
Okay. Are you violent?
I used to be. Yeah.
You just quit today?
No.
I've got categories here: violent, criminal behavior, drug use, boys, stealing, just being bratty, and girl fights. I'm going to let you look that over. We're going to take a break and then come back and talk about it. We'll be right back.
Right now, Josie's not even in school.
I got kicked out last November. I was out all night. I had a hangover. I was just tired and I didn't want to go.
Now that she's not in school, she will stay home and sleep till 1 or 2 in the afternoon and be on the internet all day.
Tomorrow on Dr. Phil, she can't cut the cord
You're living with your mother?
Correct.
She wakes him up in the morning. He's 32.
or stop covering up for her son.
So this little mama's boy is doing drugs. He's got you working 2 jobs.
Tony is a good kid.
Oh, come on.
He's charming,
You are enabled by everybody around you.
but he's trouble.
It's not her fault that I exploit her. She's exploitable.
Well, I'm telling you, grow up.
That's tomorrow.
Josie's had several fights with other girls. She talks about kicking someone's ass, and she's going to take them out.
I got into 2 fights with the same girl. I grabbed her by her hair and pulled her down to the ground. I slammed her face into the wall and kept punching her. The second fight, I did the exact same thing.
I just feel like sometimes she has no feelings towards others.
Vicki says her 15-year-old daughter Josie has been out of control for the last 3 years. Now, Vicki says Josie broke the conditional release granted by the juvenile hall judge when she snuck out of the house to buy raspberry vodka with a 25-year-old male. Now, Vicki says that Josie's bad behavior recently got her kicked out of school last month and a youth camp a year ago.
Ever since 7th grade, she's had problems in school. Josie just didn't want to participate and didn't want to go and stopped turning in assignments. That's when I reached the Idaho Youth Ranch and put her in their treatment program for 1 year. Josie ended up getting dismissed from the ranch because something inappropriate happened with one of the boys from the ranch. Right now, Josie's not even in school.
I got kicked out last November. I would skip school, and I had all Fs and no credits. I was out all night. I had a hangover. I was just tired, and I didn't want to go.
Now that she's not in school, she will stay home and sleep till 1 or 2 in the afternoon and watch TV and be on the internet all day. I don't think Josie has the concept of how far behind she's getting.
I do think I can catch up. I'm very smart, and I have done it before.
I think Josie has just become her own worst enemy. It's just a self-destructive pattern that she can't seem to stop.
So you're not in school at all?
No.
And you got kicked out of school. You got kicked out of the youth ranch after a year.
Actually, that's false. I didn't get kicked out. I was still supposed to graduate. They said that they were dismissing me because I was getting targeted. The other guy got kicked out. I was still going to graduate, and he wasn't. I didn't graduate because I wasn't sober and I wasn't going to the counseling.
Well, actually, we have a copy of what they said because they sent an email to your mother about this, and it reads, Vicki, it is our belief at this time that there is nothing more we can do for Josie under the circumstances. There has been no sign of her wanting to address her issues with the family, nor her own personal issues. Josie seems to be continuing to make some very poor choices at this point, so it seems to be in the best interest for all if we discharge from service and allow the consequences of her decisions to run their course. You have my sincere apologies and understanding in this matter, but as of now, we are considering Josie as discharged from all services.
I don't know what to say. They said I was still going to graduate in the office of the Idaho Youth Ranch.
Oh, would you let me read it again?
No, thank you.
Well, let's talk about not making any efforts. They've worked with you for a year, and they say you're making no efforts to address the issues at all. True or false?
False. I did change from when I first got there.
Do you consider yourself entitled? Do you think you have an entitled attitude?
No.
You don't think that?
No.
Your parents left the house and you emptied the den and moved all of your stuff in there. Do you think that that's entitled? Do you think that's presumptuous? Do you think that is reasonable?
No.
What makes you think that it's okay for you to do that?
It's not.
Why did you do it?
Because I didn't like being in the other room. I wanted to just get out of there.
Did you attack your stepfather?
My mom taught me how to fight. She'd always chase me around with a spatula. She'd put soap in my mouth. She cut my lip once. So I'm not the only bad one here.
Friday on Dr. Phil.
My mom, she's an evil person.
Her children claim she's blacklisted them.
They say they are not allowed to visit their dying father.
That is not true. If he wanted to see you, he'd call you.
You are so hostile.
Is mom keeping them from their dying dad?
Do you want a relationship with your children?
Of course. Are you okay with me calling them?
Stop asking for permission to talk to them.
That's Friday.
Did you attack your stepfather?
Yes.
Why?
I told him not to touch my stuff. He was...
You touched their stuff. You moved it out of the room.
Yeah, I know.
You took all their stuff and put it in another room, but they're not to touch your stuff?
No.
And you said, I wrote this down, quote, I can't believe you called the cops on me. You attack him, you hit him in the face, you knock his glasses off, and you say, I cannot believe you called the cops on me.
My mom taught me how to fight. She'd always chase me around with a spatula. She'd put soap in my mouth. She cut my lip once. So I'm not the only bad one here.
Well, let's see how it goes with other people besides them. I made a list. I asked you if you thought you were violent. You said no. Well, you were arrested for battery on your stepfather, facing charges. You've beaten your mom until you were both bloody, correct?
We both fought each other. Yes.
You cursed at your mother and your stepfather?
Yes, and they do the same.
You've thrown the phone and a hairbrush at your mother's head. You smashed a $500 iPhone on the ground. According to your mother, you've taunted your grandmother with knives to the point that she pushed her
Life alert.
life alert button. True or false?
That is very false, and I don't care what anyone says, it's not true. I would never do that to my grandmother.
Have you broken the door off the vanity?
In my grandmother's house, I ran into the thing, and you always seem to think that I did it on purpose when it was open and I walked out and it cracked. So I'm tired of you saying that I do things on purpose when you're just as bad as me.
Well, we'll talk about her in a minute. Trust me, she's going to get her turn. I'm just asking about you right now. Have you punched holes in the door and cut through the bedroom screen?
No, but I accidentally kicked through the door in my grandma's house, but I did cut through the bedroom screen.
Was this an accidental kick?
I didn't mean to break it.
But you did kick it?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I was trying to get her attention. She locked herself in her room and she wouldn't talk about anything.
You violated a conditional release. You snuck out with a friend and you met an adult to buy alcohol, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're facing battery and runaway charges right now. How do you explain this? You're on release from the court, and while on release, you commit another crime.
I just wanted to have fun with my friend.
You just want to have fun with your friends. So what you want trumps the laws of the state.
I don't think about the laws. That's why.
It's interesting because you've just confessed to it on national television. I mean, come on, guys. She's sneaking boys in a 1,400 square foot house? What the hell are y'all thinking? Who are you people? What are you doing? If you have a family member or a friend who you believe is living a lie and needs help coming clean with themselves, with you, with whoever, log on to drphil.com and share your story. Closed captioning provided by I made a list of your behaviors. Let's just go over this. Drug use. You drank a bottle of vodka on New Year's Eve. You blackout drunk 5 or 6 times, according to you. You smoked marijuana 3 weeks ago, but you say you actually do it 3 or 4 times a week, right?
I haven't. I stopped 3 days before I went to jail. And my mom bought me alcohol on New Year's.
And these are your Facebook photos.
That's an e-cig. Yes, that is weed, and that is a pipe. There's no weed in there.
So this is what you're posting on social media platforms.
Yes.
Which all become evidence, by the way.
Okay.
In court.
Okay.
I mean, the prosecutor can pull these up.
Okay.
They become part of your permanent record. You put them out there. So when you're standing before the judge and he's saying, well, let's see exactly what kind of efforts you're making to comply with the law, then he pulls this up and here we go. Are you like a Miley Cyrus admirer? Are you a Miley Cyrus wannabe? Because you seem to be mimicking her with like the tongue out and the bongs and all of this stuff. Okay, here's your New Year's Eve post. Not sure if I need a hug, 20 shots of vodka, or to punch someone in the face. Oh my God, that's totally me.
There's memes on Facebook that have that, and I shared it. I never said it, though.
So you shared this on your social platform?
A while ago, yeah.
Okay. All right, can we go back to the list? Boys, snuck boys into the house 20 times. Virginity at 14, thrown out of the youth ranch, has unprotected sex. You snuck boys into the house 20 times.
Mm-hmm. I'm only aware of 2. That's when I physically caught them in there.
20 times. Are you learning disabled?
Probably. Probably at this point, yes.
Do you live in a massive, rambling mansion?
No,
How
we
big
don't.
is your house? How many square feet is your house?
About 1,400.
1,400
Yeah.
square feet.
I'm snucking them in when she was awake, too.
So what do you think about that now?
I don't even know how I could have missed it. I have no clue.
How about you, stepdad?
Me either. She,
I know she knocked your glasses off, but I assume you picked them up and put them back on.
no, they're broken. They're broken.
I mean, come on, guys. Is she sneaking boys in a 1,400 square foot house? The hell are y'all thinking? Who are you people? What are you doing?
Probably at work or asleep.
Okay, all right. So she's stolen your car.
In the garage.
I don't know how many times.
She's stolen your debit card, bought liquor. She's stolen cash. Do you prosecute her when she takes your car?
I have never, no.
You just like, don't you do that anymore.
No, we had
That's
to start.
not nice.
No. We had to start locking everything up in our room at night and account for purses, car keys, wallets. We now go through a check.
So what were the consequences?
every
She
night.
says she's done it a half a dozen times. What were the consequences when she did that?
Not allowing her to go out, and then she runs away or sneaks out or sneaks people in her room.
And you take my phone.
Take the phone is the biggest thing.
Okay, so Grand Theft Auto, you don't get to go out tonight.
Yeah.
Not just for
It's pretty meaningless. One time she came in my room at night to say goodnight and hugged and kissed me. At the same time, took my keys out of my purse. The room was dark and I was sleeping. So that didn't mean anything. She just wanted the car and wanted to get out.
Yeah, so she's hugging and kissing you and picking your pocket at the
Yeah.
same time?
Yes.
Okay. So bratty behavior screams, I don't have to listen, I can do what I want. Faked illnesses for attention to skip school, swap bedroom with living room to use computer, skip school because lazy and tired from partying. We actually pulled a few snippets of these conversations you have with your mother that seem to fit right into that bratty category. Let's take a look at those.
How is it I act?
You're dumb. No, you're crazy. Really? I'm done. Don't even turn that on me. You turn everything on me.
Are you gonna go?
You obviously already know. Maybe if you acted like a mom, then it'd be fine.
Well, how do moms act?
Really? Can't imagine why this is off in the ditch. All right, next, Josie's view on unprotected sex and sneaking around with boys, and why Mom Vicky says that no discipline works on her 15-year-old daughter, Josie. How would she know? We'll talk about all that when we come back.
One time I heard a male voice coming from Josie's room, so I went in there and found her current boyfriend in bed with her. I think it's horrible.
Tomorrow on Dr. Phil. She can't cut the cord.
You're living with your mother?
Correct.
She wakes him up in the morning. He's 32.
Or stop covering up for her son.
So this little mama's boy is doing drugs. He's got you working 2 jobs.
Tony is a good kid.
Oh, come on.
He's charming,
You are enabled by everybody around you.
but he's trouble.
It's not her fault that I exploit her. She's exploitable.
Well, I'm telling you, grow up.
That's tomorrow.
It's been extremely hard trying to find a discipline that will work. The only discipline that works on Josie is taking her phone away.
There's been many arguments and it hasn't gone very well. One time Howard tried to take my phone back and I said no.
I had enough. I just reached into her hands and tried to grab the phone back. She said, I'm calling the cops on you. And she called him.
My number one pet peeve is taking my phone. It's my lifeline. I kind of need it.
Well, Vicki says she's always tried to give her daughter everything she didn't have growing up and says that may have backfired. You think?
Big time, yeah.
Yeah, parenting from guilt usually does. 15-year-old Josie proudly admits she had snuck boys into her room over 20 times, whether her mother was home or not.
I've caught Josie on at least 2 occasions where she had a boyfriend in her room asleep with her in bed.
I have snuck guys in my room and I've done it uncountable times.
One time I heard a male voice coming from her room, so I went in there and found her current boyfriend in bed with her, so he began leaving through the window. And I told him, you're already caught, you can use my front door.
My parents bolted my window shut and I decided to unscrew the screws.
Josie was right back at it again with boys sneaking in her room. Josie has a group of friends that are 99% are boys, and they're usually friends that she's dated of sexual nature. I took it upon myself to go and put her on birth control. I just didn't want her to end up pregnant.
She just wants me to be safe. I have not been safe all the time.
I think it's horrible, and I constantly tell her about respecting herself and maintaining something for a more serious relationship. It just doesn't seem to affect her.
I get the sense some things are kind of coming into focus for you. What would that be?
A lot of things that I've done wrong. I feel like I've done mostly everything wrong.
I mentioned earlier parenting from guilt. True?
I just wanted her to have opportunities and things for her future that I never had in my life.
Like?
Being close to her mom and having a loving relationship. And we've always done that. We've always had that. Having us go on trips together, things that I always wanted to do and was never able to, and having her to do it with me was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. But it went really out of control about 3 years ago.
Yes, 7th grade.
What you said earlier.
Yes, absolutely out of control.
When did you and Howard get together?
A little less than 3 years ago. I didn't date while I was raising Josie. I chose not to bring anyone else into the relationship.
So it was just the two of you?
It's just the two of us.
went pretty well, and you
Yeah.
brought him in. Things seemed to kind of, just coincidental or otherwise.
That just put another kink in the wheel. It was already deteriorated.
What do you want from your mother that you're not getting?
To listen to me and to understand my feelings and to hear me out and us to just talk about it instead of yelling and screaming and fighting and getting into trouble.
And what's your responsibility in making that happen?
Doing as I'm told to do, go to school, be respectful.
Where do you think this is heading?
Jail. No friends, no family.
At some point, you're going to realize you're in this for you, not for her. You know, her life's going to go on whether you do something with yours or not. And I'm just curious, what you're flunking out of the 9th grade. And if you go get a job and you can't spell cat, if they spot you the C and the T, you're not very competitive. You've got to have a skill set. You've got to have something you can offer.
I instilled that all her life. She always used to talk about when I leave high school and start college, she actually still says that in her mind somewhere. Because I told her that all her life. It's not done at 12th grade.
Well, you told her that all of her life. You spent a lot of her life being her friend instead of her mother.
Yeah, I did.
She needs somebody that says it's not okay to steal cars. She needs somebody. You know what parent means? Parent means that you prepare your child for the realities of life. You prepare your child for the next level of life. She doesn't even know what Grand Theft Auto means because you haven't taught her the consequences of a child's bad choices. So she doesn't learn the consequences of an adult's bad choices. And at this point, she would be tried as an adult, not as a child. And you haven't taught her the child dynamics, let alone the adult dynamics, because you have been enabling her. She is entitled, you are enabling, and you two are conspiring to destroy her life.
I totally agree. I just don't know how to change.
You didn't need to come
I
here
agree.
to hear that. Hell, your neighbor could tell you that.
Yeah.
All right, next. Injuries, mysterious headaches, 3 or 4 ER visits. Why is this teen at the hospital so often? Well, we'll ask her when we get back.
Josie's begun a pattern of needing to go to the emergency room. And then she posts social media of herself in braces and collars. In the end, there's nothing wrong with her.
I wouldn't fake something like that.
It's very bizarre to see my daughter doing that.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. Did you know that more than 16 million kids in the U.S. are at risk of hunger each day? That's more than 1 in 5 children. Now, these are our neighbors, our kids that play in the neighborhood, co-workers, friends' children. The problem is closer than you would think, but so is the solution. Join me and visit feedingamerica.org/hunger to find your local food bank to help. I'm Dr. Phil, and together, we are Feeding America.
If you are going to be in the Los Angeles area and you would like free tickets, go to drphil.com and click on Be in the Audience.
Or you can call 323-461-PHIL. That's 323-461-7445.
The only reason Josie got out of jail was because I went on to the judge and asked for her to be released. He agreed to let her into my custody if she was being monitored all the time. A week later, she violated that by sneaking out and coming home drunk. I don't think Josie realizes what she's done to even violate the court order. Josie's facing up to 90 days in jail and is completely oblivious to any kind of consequences for it.
Vicki says her 15-year-old daughter, Josie, will face a judge in juvenile court in 3 days for battery and runaway charges. Do you have any idea what the penalties might be?
At this point, she could get up to 180 days on both charges.
You guys are playing with fire here. You know what puzzles me is I don't know why I like you so much. There's something likable about you. What is it?
I don't know.
No, you do. What is it?
I don't know. I'm really stubborn. I have a really big attitude. I like to tell people how it is. I don't really keep my feelings away.
Yeah, maybe you're not really a bad egg. Maybe you're just really hurt inside. What do you think?
I think that's true.
Somebody hurt you when you were really young, right? So we don't need to go into detail. Sometimes we push just to see how far we could push. And, you know, there's an old saying that power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And if you give a child power, they don't have the maturity to manage that power. They don't know how to deal with that, and that's why parents are supposed to, at a minimum, have a containment theory. You know, we want our children to go right down the middle of the highway. We want them to be right in the middle and be really straight and narrow and just go right down the middle. But if they don't, we at least want to keep them on the highway.
Right.
You know, maybe they're bouncing off the guardrails, but at least they're on the highway and at least they're moving north to south. You know, at least they're heading that direction, but we keep them contained. But if you don't have any guardrails at all, then you're not containing them, and now they're just going out in the pasture and over the bar ditch and over here and over there, and you're not even doing much containment, are you?
No. No.
Look, I have a two-pronged plan for this family, and it is not what you might think or you might think or you at home might think. I'm going to tell you what it is when we come back.
You should.
Boy, our Twitter has been blowing up during this show. Cobra Girl AZ says, this is not a Josie problem. This is a family problem. Don't send her away and expect her to change. Lead the change. At Kendria says, did this mother count on her young daughter as a friend instead of being a parent to her? So all of those are hashtag Dr. Phil, hashtag help for teen. Look, I'm going to tell you what I think and what I'm willing to do here. One good thing about being Dr. Phil and having the Dr. Phil show, we're the #1 show in the country. So
I watch you too.
We have millions of viewers, so we have tons of resource partners out there. And we're able to cherry pick among all the resources from what we think are the absolute best of the best resources available to help and work with our guest. And we do that. To date, in resources provided to guests, after they leave this stage, we are unprecedented in the history of television. We have just passed the $22 million mark in helping our guests after the show. Nobody ever does that. Nobody ever does that in television. And I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do here. I will make available to you the top-level resources to get you on track, close your educational gap, get you back where you need to be so you don't lose time. And I will use what I consider to be the best in the country, the Center for Discovery. I have them here. They're located in Whittier, California. Where's Matt? Right here. Dr. Matt Polachek is right here. It is a structured therapeutic residential treatment center with a 17-year legacy of working with troubled, out-of-control teens. I mean, it is the best. They use a really cutting-edge parent education programs. They offer all kinds of family therapy to help parents develop a more integrated family model. I think there may be things that are going on with her, and so I may want to have her evaluated at the P&P Center in Dallas with Dr. Frank Lawless at the Lawless PVP&P Center. And I may want to do all that, but I am not pulling that trigger until I see the two of you do some things right there at home. And I'm going to provide you the help to do that. And that means you got to not be given up. You've got to plug back in, and you've got to do what you have to do. And I'm going to watch this every step of the way. You do A, I'll do B. You do C, I'll do D. Fair enough?
Yes, I have nowhere to go but up.
All right. And there's a great project that I think the two of you should do in common. You are not taking care of yourself.
No.
Your health is not good.
No.
You're out of shape.
Yep.
You're overweight.
Very.
You're not, and you're modeling that for her.
Yes.
I've been telling her I wanted to get a gym membership at a thing called Peak Fitness, and I told her I wanted her to do it with me.
Done. I will get you both a membership at Peak Fitness. Done. Done. I will get that done. Y'all go together. You work out together. And I want to thank all of my guests today. We'll see you next time. Okay, we'll talk to you backstage. Make this the day you finish this for yourself, okay? All right, thanks so much.